This is going to be probably the longest part. I think this is actually the longest jump in Stanton system. Server 010, guys. Server 010. That just happened. What's going on, everybody? Captain Deadwake here, and we're going to attempt to fly our Hull C and hopefully successfully complete a few hauling mission contracts. We're here at Pyro Gateway for starters. Really hoping that we don't have any gateway blockers or murder hobos outside of Pyro Gateway. I think it is smart to actually go to Terra or Magnus in order to do this successfully without as many players trying to kill you. And I'm also trying out my streaming setup, having me here in the corner. Where am I going? Because I finally figured out how to offload some of the resources so that my frame rates don't completely tank. Because right now Star Citizen actually feels good with my camera on. Before it wasn't. I was not running very optimized. Alright, little trick here if you guys don't know. When you're trying to call a ship at a station that isn't your home, there's always a really good chance that it's going to glitch as the hangar elevator is coming up and eat your ship, and then you got to claim it. There are two methods. One is to call another ship of the same size first as sort of a sacrificial ship. The other is a trick I learned from another player in game, which is to go to the ship you want, call it, give it a second after it props your hangar here, or populates your hangar, then go back in and immediately store that ship, protecting it before it gets eaten. And it might take 1 or 2 tries. It's not always in the first try for me, but it should instance your large hangar. So you can go down to the hangar and then call it from there. So let's see. Yep, there we go. Captain Deadwake's large hangar. So that is another workaround to prevent your stations from eating your ships outside of your home station, because at your home station, typically your largest hangar is instanced, but not the case in these other ones. But yeah, here we go. Our hangar is here, and we don't have to worry about claiming the Hull C, which would have been really annoying. So we're going to pull it out. I'm going to go ahead and throw on a backpack because I was messing around with what I wanted to bring. All we really need with us is a tractor beam. I don't think I have any weapons or anything at Pyro, so it's fine. We're going to roll like this. I'm going to head this way just to speed up the process of getting to the Hull C. Now, what we're going to do is playtest a smaller cargo mission. Hopefully one we can find here from Pyro, load up quick, and leave. And I'm going to try a couple of the methods. I did manage off camera to complete one mission of only 110 SKU, so it wasn't really all that crazy in the quantity department. And let me know, guys, down in the comments below what you think of audio balance and how everything's going. There she is, my Hull C with that beautiful Empyrean paint. Run over. Sometimes you gotta be careful with these elevators. It's been okay for me, but in the last patch, I jumped on the elevator too soon and fell through, which wasn't fun. Alright, this is gonna back up, and our elevator is gonna drop. Once we're on board, we'll head up to the bridge, and then we will look at our contracts and go for a small one that gets us out of Pyro. And then we'll see about handling slightly bigger contracts once we get to either Everest Harbor, Magnus, or Terra Gateway. Because you can pretty much do these interstellar big missions or these big drop-offs with the Hull C as long as you're going to a main LEO port, like Tressler, Everest Harbor, Bygenie Point, Seraphim Station, or the actual gateways, Magna, Terra, and or Magnus, Terra, and Pyro. Pyro is a bit of a hotbed right now for combat, given the supplier die mission we're in. So tread carefully. That did end my session yesterday as a couple of gateway blockers and murder hobos decided they were going to attack a completely empty Hull C, but it happens, you know. You just got to get out of there. Don't let it ruin your night. Let's see. We're going to go into our contracts before we try to leave. Now, we want something not too insane. SKU-wise. Money-wise, I don't really care. We're going to scroll through these a bit. I really hope in future patches after 4.02, like maybe with 4.1 or something, we start getting filters. Even just being able to select between the different ranks, like beginner, junior, member, experienced, would really help, because you just have to scroll through so many to get where you want. Oop, there we go. 1,800 SKU from Pyro to Magnus. That's a lot. I was wanting to start a little smaller, but we might actually have to start there. we're going to have to start there, because that's the only thing from Pyro apparently right now. Okay. We're going to do it. This can go several ways. We're on US server 20. I'm going to go ahead and fire the boat up. Alright. Request departure. Oh, we're in Pyro, so we're going to have to do this manually. Or what I mean is not using our little hotkey on our stick. Pyro gateway. And we'll hit cargo once we're out there. Because I don't want these to get confused. We'll leave that there for now. I'll put power on this side. We're going to kill weapons. Full power to shields. 4 parapets, which is good. Landing successful. That's funny. Because we touched down. That makes sense. Alright, landing gear up. Let's get out of here. Love those engines. She's so big that our proximity sensors are going off. Alright, I believe our cargo area is down below us. We're going to request... Okay, never mind. It's already propped up here. I'm just going to roll with it. We're just going to say okay and get it. We're going to go ahead and extend the boat. Let you guys see a little bit of that. I know that everybody loves seeing the Hull C do its thing. It is really cool. Can't blame everybody for loving this. I know I do. Alright. We're going to strafe to port here. Now we got to get in here and then come to a stop. We're going fast, but we don't really have anything on us. So, alright, I'm going to go ahead and hit cruise control now. Act as a parking brake. And then we're stopped. I'm going to kill the engines. So everything's off. Hopefully we don't get any inputs. We are loading. In fact, to make sure this goes well, I am not going to mess with any outer display aside from tapping F4. I'm not going to hit the view button on the mouse or on my stick. I don't want any extra inputs to possibly interrupt this and disrupt the cargo transfer because I think it is that delicate. Let me know what you guys think. I really think we need a physical docking port to make sure the Hull C is completely stationary during this loading process, because anytime you wiggle a stick or move, or the game thinks you moved, maybe even a desync error, it pauses the loading process. And I'm suspecting that even one pause can probably cause some sort of an issue where you're not going to be able to complete the mission. Give us a solid docking collar to completely stop and then start the auto-loading process. I think that'll be really great. Sure, it might add a little bit of time to dock, but I mean, honestly, line up, auto-dock, request loading, I think we're good. For now, this is the solution, so we'll be paying very close attention to how this goes in the future. And there's been no interruption. I'm seeing the SKU boxes pop onto the Hull C, which is great. This is only about 1800, so it won't take too long for it to fill up. I really want to make sure that I don't move until we've got everything on board and it actually says cargo transfer complete. In the video you might have saw of my first Hull C test, I left before it said cargo transfer complete. So we did just get a visual on this box back. Cargo transfer complete. Okay, it actually says it. Doesn't say it's still happening like the last time I looked at this. And we're going to go ahead and peek at the outside. I don't see any of the new boxes coming along. Makes sense that we have barely touched the Hull C's capacity because it's only about 1800 SKU. Yep, 1883. Alright, let's blitz out of here. Got to turn my engines back on first. Alright. Now, another thing, too, that I noticed is, well, you won't be able to see it from F4. The collect icon has disappeared. That wasn't the case the first time I tried this. The collect icon was still there, as if the interruption I was talking about caused us not to be able to pick it up. Yep, nope. Okay. Hard to port to get away from the cargo area before we get imported, or impounded. Cool, there we go. Yeah, so all of that space where these big-ass boxes are, that's all cargo loading area. So you got to actually separate away from the station to not get hit with that impound fee or anything. And loading area revoked. Okay, that's fine. So now we're going to go ahead and set course to Magnus Gateway. Really hope this works, man. I love this boat and I really want to be able to use it. And this is mass calculated because I do have more response now than I did with like over 3K SKU. There we go. Calibrating. This jump will take a minute, but we got the Aorus quantum drive, so shouldn't be too bad. Alright, we're going to angle down towards our cargo area, which are these nice, thick, boxy shapes. Whoa, okay, buddy. She's still a bit boaty with all that extra mass. There we go. So it is right next to us. Hell yeah. We're going to angle up. Now, in the old version of this, I saw a video where there was actually an indicator that dictated, like, which orientation you need to be in, like belly down toward the station. That doesn't seem to be a thing anymore. Please let me know in the comments of the video or in the stream chat if you happen to know. It doesn't look like a whole lot of people have gotten a whole lot of time in the Hull C, so we're kind of pioneering here. Alright, we got to get fully within this. We're slowing down, unable to transfer until we stop, so I'm going to go ahead and hit cruise control, which acts as a parking brake. We're stopped. Commencing cargo transfer. I'm turning engines off. Oh my god, guys, is this actually happening? Oh, transfer paused. Ooh, I don't like it. We're not moving. Maybe I'll... Okay, there we go. We're commencing again. I'm so nervous. We're up to 200. What do we think, guys? Do you think we're actually going to get a full offload? Up to 500. It's pulling. We're dropping cargo. There we go. The port aft spline is dropping 32s right now. We want to see everything leave. There we go. Dorsal aft spline. We got something on forward dorsal. Now we're going forward ventral. Those have all dropped off. What are we at? What are we at? Oh my god, we did it! Contract complete. Holy shit. Okay. There we go. Contract complete. Experience, rank, direct, interstellar. So, it's possible. Alright. I'm going to pull my splines in. Let's see if this works. Are we going to get our solar panel glitch? Now, we're in US Shard 020, if you're curious. That is the largest successful mission we've completed, but that could very easily be a one-off, so we're going to do another. And I guess we're going to go bigger this time. Magnus to Terra. There we go. Magnus to Terra. 600 skew. It's low, but Terra's got the big one that we want to test. So we're going to roll with it. We did an 1800. Let's try this 600. Now, deliver. We have the collect icon. Keep an eye on that, because if that disappears, it'll reinforce that you need to make sure you actually get everything, and that collect shipment icon disappears. The first call did not work. Let's try again. Now cruise in, see if we can get this to pop up. Oh, actually, let me do a seat check. Sometimes the game's a little weird. I found out from my buddy who did the drag race with me on the channel. If you haven't checked that video out, go check it out. It's up. We drag raced a Caterpillar and a M2 Herc with size 3 quantum drives to see what was better. And he's told me a few times about hopping in and out of the seat to sort of resync yourself, because you'll find yourself out of communication with the server or something. There we go. Cool. On that next request, we got it. So I'm kind of superstitious with this. We're gonna go belly down toward the boxes. I have no data to support that that is actually the method that works. We're going to extend our splines. I feel like another superstitious thing is to be extended before you go in. May or may not have any sort of impact. Alright, we're going to decel to about 40 meters per second. There we go. Level off. And bring her up. Back in a couple mode to stop us. This time I'm not going to turn engines off. I am just not going to touch anything. Transfer paused. This is kind of the going problem, because something has happened where the game detects we've moved. Okay, we're back. Now we've got two icons on screen. Sort of top left and kind of to the right there around 3 o'clock. We need one of those to disappear. It says cargo transfer complete. I'm waiting though. I am superstitious as hell right now. 600 SKU. Just our forward splines have gotten cargo. We got both icons. I don't like that. Not a real big warm and fuzzy, man, when it comes to seeing the collect icon staying on screen, which that bugs me, but also just the weird way it wants to show transfer interrupted, transfer paused, whatever, commencing transfer, and you hear all the little clicking and sounds, but nothing is actually happening. I still think, and again, let me know what you guys think, that we should have like a physical docking collar when it comes to these cargo missions, because the big thing that seems to get in the way is whether or not the server shard is registering us as actually stopped so that cargo can transfer. And when there's a hiccup, I think that's where we're having a lot of our issues, personally. That's me speculating. I don't know for sure. But give us a solid docking node. I don't mind taking the extra like minute and a half it takes to line up to the docking mode and just fully dock and then have them start loading the cargo on. That's more immersive anyway, and maybe that is the goal. I don't know. We'll see. There's definitely been a lot of hit or miss when it comes to this. So far, it's two contracts completed. A 110 and then an 1800, almost 1900 SKU contract completed. And I've had like 4 or 5 big ones fail. Like 3300, 4100, the really big ones that pay out like 700K. I don't think I can pull up the hauling missions while we're in the middle of a quantum drive to show y'all. Yeah, you just have the priority missions right now, which they're paying out pretty well. I mean, let me know what you guys think about the supplier die events, how you've done with it. I know we have made a pretty penny in my group. It's one of the reasons I got this whole C, because we were making so much money, and I'm already back up to, what, 12 mil? Next ship on my list is that Hammerhead, which back in the day used to be 12 to 14 mil. Now it's like 47, apparently. It's good to have something to work for. All right, what does everybody think? Think this is going to work? I hope so. I'm not even looking for just making stupid money in this game. I just want to enjoy the satisfaction of some real space trucking. You know what I mean? Alright, looks like the cargo area is back behind the main core of the station here. Alright, we're going to go ahead and start our decel. We got the note to call in, so let's go ahead and request. There she is. Going to start redirecting our velocity indicator. Oh, never mind. We're just going to pull back because I'm hitting the afterburners. We got to slow down. There we go. That's good correction. Going to continue to decelerate. We might blow by this. I don't know if I have enough afterburner to correct. Oh, maybe. What? Alright, I might be a little good at this flying thing. If you're curious about my peripherals or anything, let me know. I am dual sticking it. I got the VKB Omni NXT Evo for my throttle control stick for strafing left to right, up and down, forward and back. And I got the NXT VKB for all my pitch controls on the right, just not doing the slant thing. Okay, we are fully within. Coupled activated to hit the brakes, which has us bouncing backwards. So little throttle tap forward. Alright, I'm not going to touch anything. We're not touching. We're dropping off. I think it's going to be all 600. Transfer paused. Every time, it freaks me out. Okay, okay. 400 out of 600. Come on. Transfer paused again? You're killing me, bro. Come on. Give me all 600. Yes! Oh, shit. All right. This is the big one. This is the big one. All right, let's get out of here. We don't want to get impounded. Man, I love how quick she tears out when you're empty. It's like she's celebrating a cleared contract. Oh, it's freaking glorious. All right, we're going to reorient. We're going to turn around. We're going to appreciate cargo transfer requested. We already dropped everything off. There's nothing to pick up. See, this gives me the heebie-jeebies, guys. Oh boy. All right, this is a good distance. We're gonna sort of engage our parking brake. What I mean by that is I'm just going coupled, which holds you. I fly decoupled pretty much everywhere I can. All right, but again, 2 contracts done. One 1800, one 600 SKU. Now we're going for the big one. I think it's the 700K payout. Damn near max hauling for the whole C. And I think it's Terra to Magnus. So it's going to be another long jump. Bear with me. But that is the space truck in life. Feel free to come back to the stream later. Or if you're watching this as a video, as a YouTube video, then you don't have to worry, because it's going to be edited and this will be no time at all. There, I think this is it. Yep, there we go. 3,335 SKU of hydrogen from Terra to Magnus. What is this? Why is it still here as accept? What? What? It said contract complete, right, guys? Like, I'm not crazy. Alright, I don't want the issue of having two here. We're just going to submit that. Okay, I mean, it says they're both completed with full SKU amounts. Okay. Whatever. I'm not going to think about it too much. And couple mode activate. We're paused. Hands off your sticks. Can't move. Commencing cargo transfer. Commencing cargo transfer. It's hitting the button a lot. I don't like it. I'm just gonna look, because maybe it is happening. I don't want to get overzealous. It's not happening. We got a 2 SKU and a 4 SKU on board. What is going on? All right, it's doing the thing. It's doing the thing I don't like. All right, we're gonna try something else. I'm gonna hop out and see if I can mess with this at all. This might not go well. Problem solving. Helmet's on, right? Yeah, okay. Vertigo! Woo! Alright. Let's tap grid that. And tap that onto the grid. Alright, now let's see. I heard once upon a time that if you grid and ungrid, that it kind of helps correct the process. But maybe not. Alright, we're gonna hop back in. See what's happening. We might just need to abandon the contract, and I'll just toss this stuff to the side, and we'll try it again. See, I think part of the issue, it might be the contract stacking, because there were 2 contracts here. And that cube was already there. It was already up before I called it, wasn't it? I'll have to watch it back to see for sure. So I don't think you can have more than one. So we're going to abandon that. It's fine. It's whatever. We're going to go out and yank this crap off. We need that box to go away. I feel like that box, this is again speculation, is like coded to the previous mission or something. It's not a fresh box. We need a fresh cargo thing. I should have made sure I closed that. Oof. Make sure you close your airlocks, guys. That's just an easy way for people to board and mess you up. So, I don't like littering, man, but we're just gonna toss it. Bye-bye, contracted hydrogen. I can't feel too bad, because this is Star Citizen's fault. If it worked right, I wouldn't have to waste hydrogen. And we're just gonna run this over. Yep, there's nothing else attached, nothing invisible. That happens from time to time. Alright, let's bounce back in. Make sure we close our airlock. There we go. Yes. Vessel security, my friends. Vessel security. Alright, to get that to go away, we're going to close the ship up. We're going to quantum out and come back. Because we need that to clear. I do not want that box there. That is a problem. You need it to say revoked. Then we'll come back and get the mission. If that's the case, or if that works, then we can't stack missions on the Hull C right now. Unfortunately. It just is what it is. We're still showing transfer paused on the screen. So, there's definitely an issue. That's the gateway, because it's a really cool looking sort of wormhole thing. We might have to shard rip, guys, because we are locked in this stupid cargo box. That's how I'm taking it, since it's stuck on our screen. So I think I grabbed the other contract while it was still registering that we had one, which left the cargo grid box open. And I don't know for sure. A lot of this, as we play, is speculation and workaround. But hey, let's see. You've been watching videos for the Hull C since you've been wanting to get one. Same here, man. There are a couple of YouTubers. You know what? Let me pull them up for you so you can see. So credit where it's due. Cargo transfer requested. Awaiting your arrival to begin. Damn it! It's still saying something on the box. That's stupid. So this video here toward the top. Does this work yet? By Dr. Coldfinger Space Nuggets. If you haven't seen it, this is a really great video where he goes over the Hull C and sees if it works. He does some lower level trips in the 4.0.1 patch, and they do work. He does very, very small skew trips with this, and I think he's got a follow-up video showing the bigger stuff. But again, Dr. Coldfinger Space Nuggets, if you guys want to check out his videos too. Sour Diesel, you might have already seen this video, given that you were probably doing the same thing I was doing. I don't like that it says awaiting your arrival to begin transfer. Is that actually counting down though? Nope, it says 0, so that's just messed up. A server switch might not be a bad idea. The fact that we're still seeing that cargo transfer request is kind of a problem. But I also want to stress test it in that way. I want to see what happens with this message on. That's part of the testing I want to do with the Hull C. So we are going to come over here and actually while we're flying in, coming in hot, so I'm going to go ahead and slow down a little bit. Well, we're empty, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Raya Jose, what's the reason behind the name Deadwake? So, funny little story that I'll try to make quick. I used to play a buttload of Sea of Thieves, and that is actually where the name originated. The story, or the event, the reason that it happened was we were being chased in a sloop by a big galleon years ago. My buddy Captain Flapjack and I, he came up with his name way sooner than me. I couldn't figure out what I wanted to be called in Sea of Thieves because I changed my Xbox gamer tag to Captain Deadwake and everything after. But after this event, after we were being chased by this galleon in our sloop, we had some powder kegs on board. If you're not familiar with Sea of Thieves, these are very explosive barrels that you can throw in the water and either swim up to a ship to do some serious damage to blow them up and sink them, or do what we did. My buddy took the helm, and I grabbed 3 of the powder kegs we had on board, and I threw them off the back of our sloop. Now, this was probably within the first couple of months that Sea of Thieves was out, so people weren't as savvy as they are now, because now that's just something you look out for. But this big galleon wasn't changing course. They were trying to run up on us and outrun us, because we were running slow. It was partially intentional. We wanted to bait them in. So sure enough, this galleon comes up and hits all 3 powder kegs, blowing up, doing massive damage. And we start to see them sink. And then I said the words, "You got caught dead in my wake." And then I looked at my buddy in game and I went, "Captain Deadwake." That's it. That's the history of the name. He got caught dead in my wake. Wake being like the water in the back of a boat when you're moving through. And they blew up. So that's it. Let's go shields up real quick. Let's call for this cargo loading and see if we can get the grid to spawn. If it doesn't, we might just need to reset servers. Yeah, I think we're bugged out, man. I really do. Okay, so next plan, we're going to call the actual station docking procedure. So let's switch over.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
There we go. All right. I'm actually not too busy on Instagram. I'm on YouTube and I'm on X, previously known as Twitter. At least my gaming content. I have a main YouTube channel where I cover Tesla FSD stuff at Cyberlift. I can put how that's spelled in there if you want to see. That's my main stuff. But I'm trying to get into the gaming space. Because I've always been a gamer since I was probably like 5 years old. Alright. We're docked, so I am just going to go ahead and exit to menus. Okay, cool. We are in. That didn't take too long. It's my first time browsing the Star Citizen game, meeting lovely people in there. Yeah, Star Citizen's got a pretty awesome community. I mean, like any game, you're going to have people that are just, you know, going to make you want to leave. But what's really great, if you have them in chat, there's this beautiful thing called, oh no. Ooh, I messed up. I think it's 'cause I didn't store the ship. Okay, so you can't just dock. It won't automatically store your boat.
Please visit us again.
Yeah, the Hull C's claim time is crazy. So, yeah, lesson learned. Go all the way to the station terminal and store the Hull C. Usually, when you exit the menus and your ship is just in your hangar, it will store it. Star Citizen's kind of punishing me. Server shard 20 is what we're looking for, and unfortunately, we can't just select it. Damn, shard 50. Damn, 160. Yeah, we might just kind of be SOL. You know, we'll go check a terminal and see if maybe it shows it as stored.
Retrieval system.
No, it's sitting in shard 20 at the docking collar. All right, here we go. Oh, 15 minutes. Oh my gosh, it hurts. It hurts my soul. You know, for the sake of time, we're going to brave the dreaded US 010 server for this final test of the Hull C. It's probably not going to go well, but hey, it's part of the fun, right? There we go. Remember the trick to store it right after you call it out. That way the hangar doesn't eat it. Oh, weird. You guys notice something strange? The door is not gray. It's white. Okay. So we have some paint inconsistencies with the Empyrean. Which I get it. That whole area is kind of white, but I sort of liked it when that door was the darker grayish black color. If you are curious what I'm talking about, just go back to the beginning of the stream after this is over, or in the YouTube video, you'll see what I mean. That door was gray, and I kind of like the contrast. Let me know what you think. White door or gray door? So far, we've gotten 3 total completions, the best one being 1800 SKU, the other one was about 600 SKU, and the one before that was 110. This is still quite a bit less by a couple hundred SKU than the last ones. Well, they were like, what, 3,300, 3,100? This is 2,900. Hey, there we go. Where is it? Where is it? It's on the other side of these. Nope, it's right there, just kind of blending in. We're learning, man. We're learning. All right, couple mode active to pause us. Hands off the stick. I know I don't really want to do this, but we're going to angle so we can see the loading process. All right. This is one of the bigger missions. This is from Terra to Magnus, with about 3,000 SKU of hydrogen. I don't want to touch anything and interrupt the process. Oh, I think it just interrupted. Nope, it's still commencing cargo transfer. Did it just shift? Okay, there it goes. Still, I know I said it earlier in the stream, but I really think if we had a solid docking clamp that kept us completely stationary, it would alleviate a lot of the concerns. So I really hope that is what CIG is planning. Because this kind of floating in space, it does sort of break the immersion a bit, which isn't great. But it is a good placeholder, since we really just want to be able to fly this boat and actually have it do stuff. And this is really the only way that this sort of boat makes sense. I mean, imagine the whole E. I feel like we'll need several star systems and an economy that makes sense for that to even be a usable ship. And that would probably be like a 20-minute loading period, even with auto loading. It's hard to imagine doing all this by hand, which I wouldn't mind. I'm the kind of player that likes the physical task of loading the boxes too. I think that's cool. I know that's not everybody's jazz, but I would not mind manually loading my Hull C. I'd have some coffee, have some music playing, and just make a day of it. Space trucking. But this is okay too. It makes sense. I mean, as a driver, whether it's like an actual semi-truck driver, or, you know, in a space game like this, the pilot of the cargo ship really isn't going to be the one loading. It's going to be the cargo workers at the station that do the loading and unloading. So that tracks. That makes sense. It is really awesome seeing all that cargo. As long as it actually offloads as well. I feel like that the timer was too long for this load, because it looks like we're about full, man. I shook it around a little bit to see if it'll continue. That looks like a pretty full load. That looks like we're about there, considering the amount versus what we have. Even down to the 1 SKUs. I think we're done. Honestly, I think it's time to risk it for the biscuit. It says we have 2 minutes and 23 seconds left in the cargo transfer. And we still have the collect shipment icon and everything. But I think we have everything on board. Because we even have the 4 and the 2 right there. And another 4 there. Hey, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Let's go ahead and set to Magnus. And move along. Let's see what happens. This is going to be probably the longest part. I think this is actually the longest jump in Stanton system. Server 010, guys. Server 010. That just happened. Yep. It's just gone. Is my ship even registering anywhere? Oh boy. I think that's all she wrote. So, you know, we're gonna do the whole little raid trick that my new friend Ubu told me about.
Captain Deadwake coming through with the raid party. What's going on there, Captain Deadwake? How you doing, bud? Dude, thank you so much.
That is really cool. That is something I didn't really know about. And thanks again to everybody who tuned in for this stream and the shenanigans around trying to get the Hull C working. But this was really cool. Yeah, 010 struck again and transported us from our Hull C right back to the base. So it is what it is. But thanks so much, everybody. And I will catch you all in the next one.